Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Orwell. Ignorance is strength. Um, we are set on the third day, which it looks like that is the last of it. And we've already done these two. And let's see. In the first two episodes, we went through and there was an officer of a neighboring country's army who went missing, who also happened to have been an insider for the nation. So we had to figure out where he was, where he went missing, why he went missing. And a lot of it centered around a blogger who very much wanted to make his home country of I forget what the country was called. The city was Prava. Parisian or something like that. But he wants to make his home country safe, and he does not like the current leadership of it, and so he's been causing problems. And to try to keep him from causing problems, we have done some snooping on those around him and found out that his wife is having an affair with his brother. So that caused a bit of turmoil. So we're just going to go ahead and jump in there and get a little bit of a recap, I hope. Thank you for ensuring the safety of the nation's people. And in this one, we're not working directly for the government of the nation. We're working for, we still are, but we're working for a branch called The Office, which is right up there in naming schemes with the nation and the party. Alright. So yeah, all kinds of stuff going on. Mostly centered around these people. Oh, we did also find out that the blogger's wife is a therapist, and she was talking to Nina Maranova, who was the person who set the bombs in the previous game. So we need to find out what Raban Vart is up to. Alright. What is going on at the home page here? Cassar is nothing but a hypocrite. This, I believe, we read last time, because this was what had come out, and then we wanted to make sure people weren't paying attention to this by coming out with the affair. Okay, and so the other side, all the headlines are following with what we were doing in the last one. So it did connect to the game that I played before. So it does still have, because in the previous game we had found the bomb. So there wasn't anything, and he was writing opinion things, and there was a lawsuit against a director. But we're just going to go ahead and click these. Yeah, these are all the same things as before. But we're just going to click them so that way it doesn't keep telling me that, hey, there's something to click that you haven't clicked. Okay, are we done now? Okay. And the administration log. Okay, let's take a look at the conversation with Mary P. again. I am so sorry about what happened. I haven't the foggiest notion who posted this bloody picture. It's not your fault. It was me who wanted that picture taken in the first place. God, that was so stupid. I'm really sorry. It's okay, Karen. We wanted this together. What are you up to now? You're not going home, are you? I need to. No, please don't. After this, I'm not sure what he will do. Ilya, what's the worst that can happen? He would never be violent to me. You know that. And you know that my offer still holds, don't you? Dewhurst is beautiful around this time of the year. Yes, I got that flyer you sent me. It is beautiful for sure, but I told you I can't just leave Bonton. She doesn't want to leave Bonton, but somewhere there is a conflict for that. I've got to go now. I'm not sure I'll be able to get back to you on here. Keep your head down. Alright, drop me a message in case anything goes wrong. Raban knows anyway. The best of luck to you. Okay, so that is a new one, because this one we had already put up in everything to get to all of this. So, conflict there. Let's go ahead and read the headline here. War is inevitable. They are out to discredit me and bring down what the people's voice stands for, but we are stronger than them. Cassart may have demanded my extradition, but this war is not over. We will fight back against traitors Cassart and Blaine, who own this manipulative government apparatus designed to keep us under control. The government of the nation have dragged my family into this conflict, and I will not let them get away with this. I'm still here, and so is the people's voice, and we are loud. We have a strong group of supporters who are loyal and will help us get back on track. Know thyself, know thy enemy. We will fight back with a completely new people's voice, resonating a kind of strength never before seen. The government of the nation has declared war on the people's voice. They are trying to enslave their own people and my people by manipulating the media. Down with the government, down with Cassart and Blaine. He has declared a state of war against the cooperation of Cassart and Blaine. Okay, so we're going to hold off on that, because every time, one thing that the previous game did is that you could add things and nothing would change. You didn't even know what time of the day it was. But in this one, every time you add something over into any profile, 10 minutes passes. So I want to read everything before I start adding anything, so that way the most important stuff can get added first, especially since we're on the last chapter. Administration log. Removed contributor status. Ilya, Daniel. So he's the only one running this now. Okay. Let's go ahead and put that in there. Could it be that our actions caused a bit of trouble among the ranks of the people's voice? Good. Okay, what is new now? Discussion, our government leader is nothing but a hypocrite. Bon, I've had enough of this one-man show you call a collective. This article is contrary to everything the people's voice stands for, at least in my mind. We're long past the point of no return. We're no longer a group of journalists with thoughtful and considered rhetoric. Instead, the site has become a mouthpiece for an egocentric maniac who declares war against governments. I will not put up with this anymore. I quit. You are such a coward. You always have been. Now that we finally see our influence growing, that our voice is being heard, that change is in the air, you just run off and quit. I should have known that when you signed on that you weren't built to stand this heat. Just another bag of air that chickens out whenever things start to get really interesting. Seriously, Raban, insulting our staff? What kind of leader are you? What kind of journalist are you? You have long stopped uncovering the so-called truth. You have turned into a liar and puppeteer yourself. You are no better than Cassart and Blaine, or the others that you keep criticizing. Count me out. I'm done. I will not put up with this. Grow backbone, you cowards. Don't worry, I'll take away your contributor status. I don't need you anyway. If you're not willing to go all the way with me, you are against me. You've been in my way for far too long already. Okay. Yeah, there's a bit of argument, and he removed all of them shortly after, because this was at 016. And the discussion ended at 0:11 a.m. So yeah, only took him 4 and 5 minutes to remove everybody else. But there's nothing else there. This has a conflict we don't know about. These are my search options. Lots of search options still open, but nothing else for this. Nothing new here or here. Your device is offline. Your device is offline. Okay, so it's just this one thing, that he has declared war. War, can you believe it? Who does this prick think he is? Agent, this has to end today. Vart will no longer undermine the peace in either Parjas nor the nation. If it's war he wants, we can accommodate him. We have our own arsenal, the likes of which Vart doesn't dare to dream about. When Orwell was created, the office requested a number of additional features beyond the day-to-day tasks of investigators. Some top-level government members objected. They had the obnoxious idea to integrate an ethical codex into Orwell, limiting its capabilities. Naturally, this would not do for us. We are the nation's wardens, and we won't be restricted by some arbitrary set of rules. Oh. So you're just, okay, yeah, that's not good. So we found a way, as we always do, to develop a branch of the Orwell project, the very piece of software you're using right now. Time to make use of its full potential. Okay. Influencer. Behold the Influencer, the centerpiece of our very own version of Orwell. Not even the government has a clue this thing exists. That's not good. It can spread a story through social media channels efficiently and thoroughly, and I am putting you in charge of it. First, we need the thesis, a key statement which Raban made in his latest article. The government of the nation have dragged my family into this conflict. Okay. The government dragging his family into the conflict. They should have clearly opposed Raban's actions and nothing would have happened. Well, we will counteract this claim accordingly. Let me set that in the Influencer. Well, here we go. Here is how it works. We can't simply make up and randomly spread stuff. Instead, I need you to get me palpable information which can be used to counter Raban's statement. From pairs of data chunks that create a certain context together, I can construct a narrative which can then be spread in the Influencer. So find me data chunks to construct a narrative from. With the thesis set in the Influencer, new data chunks may be discovered in old documents or call transcripts. Take a look around. Okay. Believes the other editors of the People's Voice to be his enemies. This is her conflict. Okay. nothing else besides that conflict in this. Okay, nothing else there. And in the listener, call with Karen. Repudiated his wife. Okay. Anything else? Okay, so we're going to go ahead and add the thing about the editors. Raban is becoming more and more unhinged, sensing betrayal around every corner. Yes, we can use that, but not enough on its own. We need a good context to put this into. So I guess I have to move this over. My, why would anyone be enraged about such a bagatelle? Does it hurt when your own reality proves to be fake, Bart? Be that as it may, we can surely utilize this circumstance for our own good. First, his brother is a potential enemy. Now he wants nothing to do with his wife anymore. One could easily get the idea his family members aren't quite as important and central to Raban Vart as he claims. Let me create something out of what we've got here. I don't want to see what you're doing. Agent, the first narrative is ready to be spread through the influencer. To do so, drag it to the slot in the influencer window and confirm. Using the influencer is extensive and takes about an hour of time to complete. We'll only get very limited chances of spreading narratives today. Make sure they count. However, I should probably warn you, what's out there is out there forever, and information can be a most devastating weapon. Now, if you do the honors. I don't want to do this. Hashtag save Karen and Ilya. How Raban Vart is terrorizing his wife and brother after he learned of their affair. I don't want to do this. I don't want to destroy people's lives. I don't get a choice in the matter, though. Because I can't progress otherwise. Thought you were a bit out of... The first information spread by your command alone. It's a beautiful thing, the destruction of truth, isn't it? No, it's not. I believe we pulled the right strings there. People have swallowed the bait, as you can see on Blabber. We had some good impact on his listener count. I have no doubt Raban won't let go so easily. I wouldn't be surprised to see an appropriate response from him soon. Perhaps you can find out what he is up to before he is actually publishing it, so we can prepare our next narrative beforehand. Let's see. I've always thought you were a bit out of touch in your articles, but terrorizing your family, not cool, especially for someone claiming to speak in the name of the people. You know nothing about my private life. Your claims are wrong. You do not have the right to judge me. Fuck you, Vart. You have crossed many lines since you started this ridiculous blog, but intimidating your own family is beyond fucked up. I have never and would never be aggressive in any way towards my family. I do not owe you any explanation for anything. Crawl back into the hole that you ascended from. You did the right thing, and this whole save Karen and Ilya hype is bullshit. Infidelity is a sin, and you should not let those two get away without punishment. I I would never do anything to harm my dear wife. Fuck off. A draft. Destroy the media monsters. Dark caves of endless information network they lurk, out to get any innocent victim standing in their way. As from now, I shall call them media monsters, the government apparatus designed to control our minds. These awful creatures, who cannot be considered human, are again trying to damage my family members in order to get me. They cannot tear us apart. Believes his family members to be loyal to him. Okay, well, I don't really have anything else, so... His family is loyal to him? Oh please, I wonder if Raban believes himself what he writes there. In any case, let's see if we can shake up that feeling of loyalty a bit and prove Raban wrong, for himself and for the public. Agent, get me pairs of data chunks from which I can construct narratives that we can spread. Pay attention to anything we might use to put Ilya or Karen's loyalty to him in doubt. I don't like this part of this game. Council. It's the only thing I have, and I can't really progress without doing it. Administration log. Access from... oh. He banned Ilya from doing anything. Okay. Close your PC. There we go. Now I can at least see what I'm looking at. Alright, Karen, what do we have? Save protocol Raban 83. Hey, lovely man, how are you today? Hey, not so good. What happened? I stood on the lunch line for 1.5 hours, and then there was nothing but bread left. You know, I am not at all fussy with food, but after not having any lunch for the last 2 days, it stresses me out. The guy at the food handout told me to fuck off if I didn't like it. Oh my god, I have no idea how you stay so calm. It makes me furious even hearing about it. I would have exploded a long time ago. If the guy at the office canteen talked to me like that, I'd get him fired. You know I can't compare this place. You know you can't compare this place to an office canteen. I know, it's just, how is it even legal to treat people like that? Calm down, love. I don't mind people being assholes or just stressed out themselves. What really bugs me is that nobody really gives a shit about anyone here. Everyone is just trying to get by without being hungry or tired day by day. Hang in there, darling. Never forget, you're a real hero to the others and to me. I love how you always want to help me, but please stop saying that. It makes me uncomfortable. You are far too modest. You should be proud of what you've done. Anyway, not much longer now. I can't wait. By the way, I have picked a location. I think we could have a beautiful wedding ceremony at Monton City Park. I just wanted to keep it small and in the open air instead of renting a huge venue and making a big fuss about it. Plus, I think it'll make for some really nice, serene photos. Anything you want is fine for me, but Karen, are you sure you want this? You are sure you want this, aren't you? I'm getting the feeling I've been rushing you into something that might not be good for you. Raban, come on, you didn't rush me at all. It was my idea. Do you want this? If you want it, I am absolutely sure I love you. Yes, I love you too. Then let's do it. Okay, that's a conflict, and it's not the other one. So, Nothing else here. Oh, wait, real quick. What would that add to Karen? Married at the Mountain City Park. Rehab Council. Psychological final report on Raban. Patient history for Pargesian refugee whom I have been treating since February 2011. Treated for symptoms of PTSD, traumatic events, and severe injury that cause the patient to lose his ability to walk in his home country. Okay. Patient was initially very unresponsive and reclusive, even apathetic in therapy sessions. Occasionally he would switch to a rather aggressive tone when I pushed too much towards him, revealing details about his experiences and emotional state. This is probably due to the conditions of living in the refugee encampment for an extensive amount of time and is very much in conflict with the patient's personality of valuing strong individuality. Around the summer of 2012, the patient went through a sudden change. He seemed to become more outgoing, happier, and willing to talk more, though was still trying to keep conversations superficial. Throughout the sessions, the patient has been opening up more and more, and I feel like we have been making tremendous progress. In addition, the patient also seemed to be much more appreciated She has a typo in her report. By fellow camp residents. As of writing this, I am unsure whether to attribute the change to the effects of the therapy or to external factors. Hi, Simon. You made me a song and you're going to hell for this? Callie Necco girl, you're undeniable. Daisy Dukes, bikinis on top, dabs. Straight to hell. Yep. Yep, you are. I don't care if it's to the tune of California Girls. Alright. Recommendation: although the patient seems to have made a lot of progress in the past months, I strongly recommend to extend therapy. I would like to keep him under close observation personally to ensure the progress achieved by the patient so far continues and to determine the exact cause of the change in personality. I will therefore file a request extending therapy by 6 months. Became happier and more outgoing. Intend to observe him personally. Behave recursive. Okay. So what is this other report? This one is on Ilya. Ilya successfully fled from military service. We don't know what the conflict is. Okay. His optimism and overall social and friendly character, as well as tendency to look at the bright side of things, has helped him a lot to get through the psychological trauma of the hardships he and his brother faced back in Parges. He's optimistic and good-natured. Hi, Crystal. How are you today? Okay, I don't want to put any of that in yet until I've looked at everything. Beautiful Dewhurst. Interested in moving to Dewhurst. Okay, she has this, but it's because Ilya sent it to her. She put it in her trash, so I believe she doesn't want to leave Monton. Especially since that is in her trash folder. So we'll go ahead and add that. Loyal despite everything that happened. Bah, she'd be better off leaving her husband behind. Raban Vart is doomed, he will go down, and if Karen is still around at that time, so will she. My day was good. At work had my boss and his boss both come in to visit, so that was interesting. Okay, go away from this. Let's take a look at Ilya really quick before we start putting stuff for her in. Okay, he plays a card game. Cassie Watergate Christmas Party. Yeah, she was like the first person we had to search out in the last game. He's pretty much been at the same place. Oh, we can get her number and get into her phone now. Wait, didn't we already have? Oh, that's her number. Oh, that was stupid. It wasn't the other one. Okay, back to this. E-ticket. Your e-ticket wallet is empty. Okay. Notes. Butter, eggs, bacon, shoes. Back to the Future 2, Lent to Zlatko, remind him again. Never forget, ask Uncle Simos about Captain Ilya Janeway. Okay, we're gonna hold off on that. Chat. Hey you, hey what's up? Just want to see if the website is all running. Okay, so that we were already seeing on hers. We saw this on hers. Ooh, an unsent draft. I spent so much time lately thinking that things were becoming far too complicated, yet now I realize that everything is actually becoming easier. Raban fired me from the People's Voice, and it's like a weight has been lifted from my chest. I suddenly feel free, and I wonder why I didn't change things earlier. Not just with the blog, but with us. You said that you couldn't leave your life behind, but Karen, what kind of life are you living now? A life stuck inside a cage, dictated by Raban and his whims. It's time to be true to yourself. Karen, I love you and want to spend the rest of my life with you. I'm going to leave for Dewhurst soon. Please come with me. I want to finally be... Okay, good to know. Let's see. Gets a chance to congratulate epic win. Okay, so this was about the tournament he won that got him the money. Oh, it's a conversation between him and Cassie from the previous game. She didn't like working for her own parents' company. It's not exactly easy, truth be told. I often dream about quitting. He wants to get away from his brother. You can't imagine how you had a look at that Christmas party photo of you on my phone. You seem so carefree. You're carefree. Your parents are crazy rich people. Nothing should be worrying about you. Crazy rich assholes, more like. Argue about the course of the company constantly. Blue hair. Are you even thinking? You don't represent the values of the company with blue hair. For the cameras only. Okay, well that's... I like this conversation just because it does tie it to the first game again. Kind of like how her being the therapist for Nina ties it to the first game. And seeing all of Harrison's opinion posts do the same thing. Okay, so that's everything from him. this is interesting. Those are personality traits, not anything I really care about. This is stuff about Raban. So we'll go ahead and put these in. Raban got better all of a sudden. Something important must have happened at that time. More headlines. Cancels meeting for surprise visit in Triflith. Yeah. That was also something from the previous game. So let's go back to this. He originally behaved reclusively and unresponsive. Considering the trauma he endured when his school got bombed, this comes as no surprise. Article discussion, Arrival. Ah, I knew you liked our therapist. You know, I also look forward to those sessions with Karen every week. Lucky you, the way she talks about you. She seems to be fancy you. She treats me like a child. Stop it. Karen fancies me. She doesn't like me one bit. She doesn't like you one bit. It's her job to be nice and she gets paid for it, so snap out of your daydreams. Okay, so this conflict here is in conflict to the I love you. I don't have a date for when this goes, but this is his opinion because he thinks it's her job, and this is before he had that turnaround. He intended to escape the refugee camp at any cost, but he couldn't go back to Prava, but he can't stay in the camp. And from what he said, I mean, understood, because the camp, they weren't getting a lot of food, everybody was tired. No, the situation right now is bleak, there are brighter times ahead. So this is really showing his optimistic personality. Well, as for Karen, if you're not interested, mind if I take a shot? Maybe I just need to prove to her I'm not a child. Sometimes I wish I could share your naive optimism, brother. Okay, so I don't believe this one. I think she actually did love him at one point, at the very least. At the same time, there's this comment that she intended to observe him personally. How awfully caring of her, or maybe not. This could be useful to make Raban doubt Karen's motivation in marrying him, but we need the right context first. This one is Ilya. Still need this conflict. Okay, let's go ahead and flip to Ilya real quick. Let's go ahead and add this in case we can get anything about anything else with that. Nope. Nothing else opened up. Okay, this is current right now, April 15th. So he hasn't sent this yet. Oh, now what do we have here? If that isn't an affront to loyalty, I don't know what is. is one thing, but we need something to show Karen is going all in with Ilya now to disprove her loyalty as well. And he has long wanted to get away from his brother, apparently. Not surprising with a brother like that. I could make something out of this, but we need a little extra to dramatize the story more. Literally just this. Actually, I wonder, hold on a second. Rehabilitation counts. Where was the thing that surged? Here we go. The album. Because I don't think searching the albums takes up any time. No, it doesn't. So, let's go back to you. Oh, did I don't think I put that in yet. Hold on a second. Let's do this. Very picturesque. Maybe you can find a photo somewhere. That's the point. Boston City Park. Let's see if we can find a picture. Does she look happy? Was this the happiest day of my life? I'm not sure. I was happy, though. Was it a rushed decision? Maybe it was in hindsight. There were ups and downs. But if our marriage has brought any good, Raban and Ilya finally didn't have to endure that awful camp any longer. Okay. Permanent residency is granted upon marriage to a citizen for the spouse as well as family members. Questionable thing if you ask me, especially if the circumstances of that marriage were to appear shady. She was happy. And he intended to escape. Any cost, Does the fact that Raban was able to leave the camp through marrying Karen scream sham marriage for you? Well, soon might do that for just everyone else too. We now possess one narrative we could potentially spread, however we can only hit Raban after he has published his next article. We need to bide our time for the moment. Use that time well to dig for more narratives. Get me everything that could be of use. I don't want to dig everything out. Okay, let me get the conflict of this, because I believe she honestly did love him. Wrong profile. Back to Karen. Yeah, sure, all while having an affair with her brother-in-law. Don't think it was... Oh, he published his article. We can strike now. Remember, you are still able to dig for more narratives, so you may want to do that before you spread anything. As soon as you're ready, spread the narrative that seems the most promising to you in the influencer. We only get one chance here. No more pending draft. The media monsters have no chance against us. We will always fight back. I will not let them destroy my family. My dear wife is and always will be on my side. In the dark caves of the endless information network they lurk, out to get any innocent victim standing in their way. As from now, I shall call them media monsters, the government apparatus designed to control our minds. These awful creatures who cannot be considered human are are again trying to damage my family members in order to get me. They claim I am a tyrant to my family. Though this affair did shake me to the core, which probably made the media monsters very happy, my wife and I are still on good terms. We will continue to stand by each other as we always have, no matter how difficult the situation. And the same accounts for my brother. They cannot tear us apart. My family members will remain loyal to me as they always have been. I already put that in because I didn't have a choice. What else do we have? Ilya's character. I'm sure this can be changed. You're a bitch, you know that? I don't know what this is. The conflict. So I guess I don't get a choice because I refuse to put in anything else. So I guess the only way I can move forward is by doing this. Fake marriage, how Raban Vart of the People's Voice planned his escape from a refugee camp by seducing their therapist. I really don't want to do this. Finding information is one thing. Using it to do this is another entirely, and I don't want to do this. But I can't progress in the story if I don't. It's not fair. What is what? Happy with what you have achieved. What you don't want to do. So basically what this is, and I can't progress if I don't do this, but she basically has said that there is, in the previous game there was an ethical codex that meant that you could search into people's information, but the only people that would see it would be the advisor here. And I mean, you could decide what you were seeing out of the information given. And if you wanted, you could be really mean and spin everything a really bad way. But what you put into the profile basically dictated what happened. What she's doing is she has an extra section of Orwell where you can take information you found and you can put it on the internet, on social media, to spread it around and flood rumors to affect the people that you are searching about. And I don't want to do that. That just seems really, really mean and nasty. And she is personally, has a vendetta on this at this point. And she's a bitch, and I don't want to do it. But I can't progress anything if I don't do it. And I would like to at least finish the game. But, again, this does very much parallel the real world right now and the way social media can influence everybody, especially if you're a big enough name. Attacking Vart's marriage was a good idea, very personal. I believe many of his followers took this to heart. Raban has taken a blow, but he is not going down yet. Speaking of which, let's check up on what he is up to writing. Yeah. And I think that's the thing that it's kind of spooky with this game because of just how much parallel it has with the real world and modern day technology and what can happen. Social media is good for certain things, but man, it can ruin someone even with false info. Yeah, because once that false info's out there, you get enough people believing it, and it doesn't matter. Especially if, like with this, you're taking little facts that are true and spinning them in a different light. And that just makes it even worse because you're finding these truths, but they're being spun to come out a completely different way. Reactions to the fake marriage. Your fake marriage shows you are a complete fraud, especially since you claim that you plan to return to your home country anyway. This should be illegal. Neither my wife or I married for any other reason than it's none of your fucking business, so back the fuck off, you fascist asshole. That's one way to respond. The uprising against the government of Parchis has begun. The angry crowd in front of the presidential palace in Triflith is growing. Raban is the one to thank for this, and fake marriage is a fabricated story distracting you from the truth. We are going to win this media war. I knew it. Fucking immigrants setting up a fake marriage in order to get into the country. Go back to your own goddamn country and stop annoying us with your pathetic blog. My wife would never consider herself one of your women. Losers like you make me vomit. Is it true, Raban, is it true that you did not marry out of love? Does that mean you might be single again soon? The fuck is wrong with you? Karen's timeline. What has changed? And that's how social media is, lol. Yes, they definitely managed to pin this pretty good. Karen, my daughter, we had our differences about your marriage with Raban for his refugee status. Only now, with the recent news, could I realize that this guy must have forced you into a sham marriage. Please know that in case you need any assistance with your situation, I'm always around for you. I don't mind that you broke all contact with me. Get back to me. This refugee is the worst thing that has ever happened to you. Oh my god, forced into marriage? Karen, is that true? Are you really that shameless that you would exploit some nonsense gossip about your daughter on the web to reinforce your own political fear-mongering? This is preposterous, entering a sham marriage like that for money. I know Raban, he is a good man and wouldn't force her into anything. Okay, what is his draft about the big conspiracy? The media are trying to distract you from the truth. Blaine and Cassart are conspiring against us. Claims Prime Minister Blaine and President Cassart are conspiring against the Pargesian people. Why is the focus of attention not on one of the most pressing and obvious issues? Is it not curious that during a national crisis like this, while Bonton is threatened by terrorists, the Prime Minister is leaving the country? Is it not weird that he is meeting Cassart, who is throwing him a military parade party supposedly due to a negotiation meeting? The answer, this is bullshit. Negotiation is not what the national government wants. They want power. This is what you should really be worried about, you mindless idiots. Okay, I don't think there's anything else I can do. No, all of that is nothing here. Nothing here except for something that I can't contradict yet. I wonder, where was there any search for Prava Secondary School, Percoleaks, Party, Prava City, Pargesian Army? I don't think there's any way I can search anything. No, because the only file I can get to is Oleg Bouquet's. Plus, if he did dodge the army, it's not going to matter. So, the only thing I can do is put this in. Which is going to set up another influencer article. Falling back into old habits, are we? Vart is trying to shift the attention to Blaine and Cassart's meeting. It's a one-of-a-kind opportunity for him to back up his conspiracy theory. Reports say there are already people gathering in front of the presidential palace where the two are meeting, attempting to stall the talks in the name of the people's voice. We cannot let his claim go unchecked, or the situation there might escalate, not on our watch. If he's into conspiracies and hidden agendas, how about us playing the same game? I'm certain you can get me enough information to let me construct our own little conspiracy theory. Keep in mind we have to hit Bart hard this time, very hard. We must break his follower base. I don't want to do this. You're asking a lot, bitch. Broke contact with her mother. Her mother opposed her marriage to Raban. That's all we can do for that, because this was already put in right here. Oops, too far. But we don't have... Okay, we don't have anything else for that conflict yet. So we'll go ahead and put this in. So she is the daughter of Elizabeth Levine. Against this backdrop, it's quite remarkable Karen professionally counsels refugees. News. Oh, her mother is running for mayor. What do we have going on over here, too? Text, e-ticket wallet, one adult, one-way boss. Okay. Alright, well, Ilya is planning on leaving. Ilya's making a run for it, it seems. Who can blame him? Why, we could, of course. Maybe he'd consider staying if the news would turn out to be against his liking. I have to disappoint you. Raban, I'm not quite as dead as you'd planned. Not yet. I may be soon, but for now, I've found a way to at least write this mail. I didn't expect you to sink so low as to work with the office. That's why I couldn't figure it out back then. But the recent days have opened my eyes. The arrest, all those interrogations they put me through, you're with them. It's the only way you may have obtained internal info on me and created that leak. Yes, I have been working with them as well. But tell me, what choice did I have after they arrested me, tortured me, and forced me to become this? Now the office wants to get rid of me, else they wouldn't have sent me back to that godforsaken shelter. And in your blind rage, you became their tool. Because of what? Did you really think me behind what happened to Prava Secondary? My unit was being targeted by someone unknown. That was all. For God's sakes, Rodka died in that bombing, you fool. Why in all hell would I kill my own daughter? Fuck you, Raban, and your empire of lies. From the bottom of my heart, we'll both meet each other in hell for the mistakes we've made, as soon as the office is done with you two. Okay, well. We're gonna go ahead and add that his daughter died. What a tragedy. We knew she'd been present that day. Seems that investigator you're paired with got the bombing's perpetrator. I'm impressed. Believes the office wants to get rid of him. Was in search of a shelter for his military unit back in Prava. Okay. So he believes the office wants to get rid of him. That's fine. That's a belief that he may have. Especially if the office is filled with people like her. Nonsense. If we wanted to get rid of Oleg Bakay, we would have done so when we got the chance. That's true. But how did you learn that exactly? What did Bakay do? How did he get that out there? I figure we need to check on him more. Good of you to report this in to me. Great. His unit was in search of a shelter for his military unit back in Prava. And did Raban provide it? That's something we could get him for. brought to our attention that your patient has been involved in a criminal case. Unfortunately, she's been shot on the run, and the case is now being investigated thoroughly. As you know, a situation like this requires a report by the therapeutic counselor who treated her. We therefore kindly ask you to hand in your report on Miss Maternova by the end of the day. Please be informed that this report is highly important for the case and will be used in court. Okay. Well, I mean, Nina did get shot in our game on that side. Okay, let's go back to looking at Miss Elizabeth Levine for mayor. Never stop standing up for our values. Exclusive interview with her. Endorsed by Delacroix. Party supports Karen Levine's work directly via state funding. So she receives financial support by the party. And she's running for mayor. Okay, so hold off on that. What is this exclusive interview? Candidacy of mayor. What are you going to improve? Suffering from a crisis due to the policies of the previous government because of a huge influx of immigrants. Here's the conflict, because she says that Karen cut off all ties with her, but here says that she supports her. Daughter Karen is a kind-hearted person. Did you know this impertinent person invited soldiers into a school? Not only does your daughter specialize in refugee counseling, but she is also engaged to one, none other than Raban Vart, who is the author of a blog that is highly critical of the government. For sure, you must be aware of that. These are nothing but vile rumors, pitiful lies, I assure you, simply made up to question my credibility, most likely by the very same person you just called out. You said it yourself, Raban Vart is critical of the nation and its government, and he won't stop at any falsehood. Did you know this impertinent person invited soldiers into a school which was then attacked because of his actions? I bet this is news to you, Jeffrey. Yes, I've done my research. Have you done yours? My daughter is doing no such thing as marrying him. No such thing. Okay, so this interview was 4 years ago to the day. So this is not the case here. She did break contact with her mother. The mother, like Elizabeth Levine, I cannot even imagine why. Too bad. She would have been in contact with her. We might have used that against her. I'm gonna be honest and truthful, bitch. Know that I stand with you. Bon, I could not help but notice that you seem under a lot of fire from all sides most recently. Even some of your most trusted followers are turning their backs on you, but not me. You have been through some dark times before, as you have trusted me with. Remember how you told me that Ilya got your parents Anastasia and Milovan in deep trouble and you saw no way out? And here you stand nonetheless, because you have pulled through. Okay. Sure. Let's pull that just in case that becomes important. In what kind of trouble? That is a good question. Okay. I need to stop adding stuff so I can look through everything. Okay. Party supports her work. And that's where we're at as in news. Issues. Children are our future. Tradition and culture must be preserved. She's really against immigration. So she is, what, she's the Trump of this world? Supporting families. Doesn't want same-sex marriage or anything. Should be forbidden by law. We believe so-called Planned Parenthood is child murder and should be treated as such. I don't like her in the slightest. I completely understand why Karen cut all ties with her mother, if this is what her mother is like. Family is a foundation for everything. Mother, lawyer, and philanthropist. Okay, Karen has a brother. We'll add that. Okay, nothing else new. So let's go ahead and add that the party supports Karen. Let's work. I'll bet Raban has no idea about Karen's entanglements with the party, nor has any one of his followers. We should let them know maybe, but we need a little more backing if we're truly to put the blame on Karen here. I don't want to put the blame on her. Will you stop spinning everything? Fucking bitch. I don't like my advisor at all. She's horrible. Initiative, save Parges. We need to stand up and resist. We are the Pargesian people. Our government is corrupt. What, are you laughing because I don't like my advisor? Message board. Oh. No, I can't change her out. She is the only person assigned to me. The only way I think I could change her out is if she was doxxed the way the other one was, and somehow, just because I'm on the last chapter of this game, I don't think that's gonna happen, so I'm stuck with her. Fucking bitch. Okay, so I can enter passwords here. Captain Ilya Janeway, I believe that is the whole Uncle Simos? Yeah, I think that's what this is. I can't fire her either because technically I work underneath her. She's my boss, so to speak. News. This was in 2005. Since the forces of True Parges have been getting more and more violent and inciting unrest and bloody protests, we would like to address them personally in an open letter. Dear members of the FDP, we are all Pargesians. We all love Parges. We want this change and freedom for our country and citizens. We have the same goals and the same dreams, so why are we fighting? Cassart and the corrupt government are laughing up their sleeves at us, not even being able to form a stable resistance against them. Please let us stand as together in unity and resist the government peacefully. We organized a new collection of signatures from the Pargesian people in order to request a new referendum against our current government administration. For the pen is mightier than the sword, and violent wars will only be left with losers on both sides. We urge you to stand beside us, not against us. Unfortunately, we have lost many members to the newly formed forces of True Parges, who have been increasingly criticizing of our Okay, so this is going backwards. This was the most recent thing. So they lost a lot of people. Many internal discussions how to handle future protests, what alternative means to voice dissatisfaction with current government actions. Save Pargus. Will remain peaceful. But it didn't remain peaceful. Don't want to get involved in illegal activities. Our first meeting, we decided to arrange a peaceful protest march against the newly installed president, Demjan Kassar. He is not our president and was not elected democratically. We demand new elections. Please join us. Intraflith. So this is the messages of what started all of this issues in Pargus. So let's go ahead. Okay, May, September, November 2010. So let's start with family communication because that's the oldest. Only visible for the following members. Captain Ilya Janeway. Your father and I decided to use this digital message board for our family communications since we do not believe our telephone is safe anymore. More and more members of our community have been disappearing recently. We need to be as cautious as possible. Please use the message board as a primary channel from now on, especially if you mention other family members or places where we meet. This is an old abandoned board of an initiative we took part in some time ago. It should be secure and unknown to authorities. Holy moly, I didn't expect that, Mom. You two were revolutionaries. You never mentioned a thing. It's quite bad, yeah, but do you think it's necessary to be this cautious? Please, Ilya, this was a peaceful resistance movement, not that revolutionary. Your father thinks it's safer to communicate here, as they might wiretap our phone. What is up with that stupid pseudonym of yours, by the way? Is that the one you use in all those chatter rooms all the day? It's called a chat room, Mother. Please just do us a favor and stick to this message board, Ilya, and for God's sake, please pick a secure password you can remember. Raban, we would like to invite you over for Uncle Simos' birthday next week. It would be great if you could join us. Join you in the evening after rugby. By the way, Uncle Simos wanted to invite Oleg Bakay. Just because his family lives next door doesn't mean we have to show hospitality to the followers of the Kassar regime. It's too much of a risk. Okay. Right, honey, we cannot afford to be careless here. I will talk Simos out of it. Mom, Dad, Oleg is a good man. The world is not simply black and white. He may be a soldier in the army, but he wouldn't endanger us. I think he should come. It's a shame Kassar has managed to drive a wedge between people in our community. Sorry, son, I don't think it's a good idea, especially not putting him next to my elderly brother who talks very bluntly about hating Kassar and his followers. Bakay has always been overly patriotic. The police are already beginning these Gestapo-style observations and is scaring the hell out of me, but maybe you're right, we should give him a chance. Okay. I don't want to join this stupid war. I just got a note telling me to report for duty by next week. I was drafted. You're coming to take me if I don't report in. What am I going to do? I don't want to join this goddamn war in this horrible army. Please don't panic, Ilya. We are going to take care of this. There must be something we can do. Raban, you know where Oleg Bakay is. Is there a chance you could talk to him about this? I heard he's in charge of the unit stationed here. Can he help Ilya to get out of this? I will see what I can do. Try not to worry too much, Ilya. I'm going to talk to Oleg and get you exempted from service. It might cost me a few favors and take some time, but I will get you out, I promise. He's a reasonable man. But first I need you to go report in anyway. Don't give them a reason to arrest you. That will only make things much harder. Yes, okay, thank you. Check messages ASAP. Mom and Dad are gone. They took them. They sent soldiers to our home. It was so horrible. They started hitting Dad and yelled that this was his punishment. Mom tried to fight them off, and then they started hitting her too. These bastards just took them away, and now they are gone, Raban. What should we do? You have to help us. Raban, please check your goddamn messages for fuck's sake. Okay. And there's not really anything else to add. Okay. Let's start with Oleg lived next door. Seems they once were literally closer than we thought. Should I put in that his parents were revolutionaries? It was a peaceful resistance movement, not that revolutionary. So we'll skip that one. He got drafted. Army of Parjas forcefully recruited a lot of men into their ranks when the conflict with the FTP erupted anew. Seems Ilya has been no exception to it. Promised to get Ilyavar exempted from military service by convincing Oleg Bakay. He did serve, though. Attempt to flee from service and punished. Discharged by local command. What's the conflict? His heroic successfully fled from military service. He didn't escape, but technically it was successful because he got discharged in the same year. But because he was punished, I'm gonna put that one. He got punished. Do we have any idea what punishment may have involved? Let's go ahead and put what his rank was. We're still going to add in that Raban did promise to get him out. I'm curious whether that worked out or what it took to convince Bakay. Oh, new portrait. I don't care about the portraits. Pretty sure this was the punishment. You know, I have to give this game some credit here. The music in the background is very nerve-wracking, and it makes you kind of anxious, and given what we're looking through, it fits perfectly. Okay, truly horrible. Then again, maybe it was all about Ilya trying to flee from army service. I mean, it could easily be the truth, but at this point, we don't have to care. Oh, she's a bitch. She's a bitch. Good, we have a narrative again. We cannot spread it yet, though, not before Raban publishes his article. Keep searching around. Coward brother, learn how Ilyavart got his parents punished for his own cowardice, and his brother Raban covered for him. Ugh. I don't like you, bitch! I could add this. I don't believe this. Used all of that. Nothing new on his. When is his thing expected to go? No scheduled publishing time. Parents, okay, let's put in the parents are revolutionaries, because I have to make time go. They were members of the FTP, were they? They weren't members of the FTP. Raban openly criticizes Kassart all the time. I doubt we can gain any benefit from knowing his parents may have done the same thing. Okay, I don't have a choice here. He's not really working with the office. Because I'm working with the office. But sure, let's... I don't know. Let's see. This would all be so much easier if he was. I don't know where that came from, but there is no way we can build a conspiracy theory involving us directly. There can't be more than one working with the office. I don't know. She seems to know everything that goes on in the office, so I guess. I don't know. Can I find other pictures of anything? No, not that. I think I already searched that on her pictures because I don't think they ever went there. Sure, let's see. Medal of Honor, Prava, Agent of the Office. I think I checked this too before. Okay, nothing I can use from him. I just checked him. Let's check Ilya. Sure, let's see. I mean, it's not a location. We already got the Bonhark Hotel pictures. Working on army supplies. Oak Street? I think I checked this too, but it can't hurt to keep checking it again. Watergate Pharma. Anything new here? Doesn't look like it. Nope. Okay, so what about... I suppose, just to move time, let's go ahead and give him a new... portrait. Because I can't do anything until his thing is posted. But there's nothing new. I have to search for something. I'm sure I do, but what the hell do I search for? There's no pictures. I've already gone through that. Rehabilitation Council. Can I search her? Does she have a... Nope. It was worth a shot. What about... has a brother. What about his name? Can we find anything about him? Nope. I'm very confused. Records of attendance. I know I'm grasping at straws here, but I honestly don't know what to do. I am very confused. Sin. What if we put in Radka's name? I am so confused. I don't know what to be doing at this point in time. There's nothing new. This is offline, so I can't look at it. He's planning on leaving today. In 22 minutes, actually. But I can't progress the day right now. I'm so confused. The only way I can move time forward is to put information into the database. It moves forward in 10-minute chunks each time I put something in there, because then it supposedly searches everything else to it searches everything else, and it takes 10 minutes for it to do that. So the only way I can move time forward is to put things in, and I'm not sure what to put in there. Right now, he is the only one leaving, and I don't have any other information. So I feel like somewhere I need to search something. But there's nothing else for me to put in that's popping up. So I feel each one of these is a search thing. So if I put searches in and I come up with new information from that search, but I'm not sure. This one searches for pictures. This one searches for the names of the profiles of all of her patients. This one searches for people who are a part of the Hand of Blood and their rankings for the games. This is searching the attendance records of the secondary school when it was blown up. This is the date of the bombing, actually. This, I can upload things to it, but I'm not sure, because it has to be operations sanctioned by the nation, and I don't have. But this is where I found out that the one guy was an insider. It had become public. Wrong document type. don't have anything on the special ops for this nation. No, I really don't. The only thing I have is this, where I got to find out that this dude is an inside agent within the army that works for the office. And I think because I'm being too honest about things, I might have backed myself into a corner. Because I'm being so honest because I don't want to do these things. But I'm not sure about the part with mom and dad that was taken. I mean, I uploaded this as something, and I'm not. But I can't do anything until he posts something, but I can't move time forward until I put more information in. I mean, this is already put in. Generally, if you have anything to add to that site, it wasn't the nation, so I doubt it's gonna do anything. I think this was under Ilya's. I can't put anything about his parents in there. It doesn't give me the option, just the division of infantry. Let's try putting Simos in here. I don't know. We're finding old history here. Visitors. Nothing here. What are you planning on doing against the FTP? This is all stuff that I had put in. And I'm not sure. Did I put in... this. Let me see this. Okay, here's some more stuff I can put in. Knew I was missing something. Let's go ahead and put this in. Yay, something has happened. Quo tracking. He is at the central station. He is on his way out. He's already at the central station. He really is going to follow through on his plan then. Do anything about that. Hurry up. Okay, back to this. Because this is the only other thing I can do. Raban invited soldiers into a school. One related document found. By that, Vart may have drawn fire directly to the school. Why would he consider such a thing? How mindless can you get? He deserves to go down, and so he will, by our hand. Oh, holy crap. All kinds of stuff. Okay. Managed to make a deal with Oleg Bakay, whose unit from the Pargesian army will protect our school. Children will be safe. Hope this helps convince you not to take your children out of the school. I assure you'll be fine. I would never do anything to endanger my pupils. They are as safe as they can be at my school. Okay. Pop that in. So this is why Oleg and Raban met at the school. They had some kind of protection deal going on. Sounds extremely dumb to me. It's not the entire truth. We know Bakay wanted a shelter for his unit. This would let Raban look pretty bad if it were to be released. So why not go for it? Raban publishes article, Time to Strike Back has come. You can go on searching for more material to create narratives from though. Please take your time. When ready, strike Raban as hard as you can. We need to make this count. Oh. So now I have multiple options here. Former Principal Raban Vart sold his school's shelter to Pargesian army prior to school's destruction through bombardment. Former Principal Raban Vart sheltered Pargesian army in a deal to get his brother Ilya exempted from servants before the building got attacked. What did he write? Big conspiracy you should know about. Blaine and Cassart are conspiring against us. The media are trying to distract you from the truth. Blaine and Cassart are conspiring against you. The rumors that I married my wife only to get out of refugee camp are both extremely insulting and untrue. They are meant to draw your attention away from something way more important than my personal life. The important question should be, why is the focus of attention not on one of the most pressing and obvious issues? Is it not curious that during a national crisis like this, while Botan is threatened by terrorists, the Prime Minister is leaving the country? Is it not weird that he is meeting Cassart, who is throwing him a military parade party under the guise of a negotiation meeting? The answer is that this is bullshit. Negotiation is not what the national government wants. They want power. Blaine and Cassart want to control our minds by secretly conspiring against the people of Parges. Since this is what that meeting really shows and what you should really be worried about, I hereby call for a protest in front of the presidential palace in Triflith. Let's show these traitors to the people what we think of them. Okay. No pending article anymore. I suppose we can mark that he's gone. And And he is gone. Ilya is out of the equation, though I am not sure whether that will make our life easier or harder. Okay, now I have to do one of these. What do you think? Which one should I put out? The coward brother, the army-loving principal, or the lousy deal to get his brother exempted from service? What do you think, Crystal? I feel like the middle one, the army lover. Okay. Former Principal Raban Vart sold school's shelter to Pargesian army prior to school's destruction through bombardment. Spread the rumor. And this will move time forward by an hour. I have been reading The People's Voice from day one and was always a loyal follower. Now I hear you are lifelong friends with a soldier that fights for this corrupt government. How can I trust anything you write? Look at how misinformation spreads. Insert evil laugh. You are correct. It's all spread and done. Very good thinking there to show Raban as an army lover. That hurt him well. Good work, but not good enough. Raban is still around and he still has a loyal follower base. So what absurdities does he dare to claim this time? So the government of the nation has been spreading lies about me, and it is more important than ever to choose your sources wisely. All I can ask for now is to give me the benefit of the doubt and trust me. You're a fraud. Can't trust an army lover who is secretly involved with the government. You are wrong. I am and always will be loyal to my home country. I do not have any regard for the Pargesian army. I was always wondering why you moved to the nation if you really love Parges so much. Now I know that you were involved in the Pargesian army and therefore our corrupt government all along. You are nothing but a pathetic liar. You have no right to question my loyalty to Parges. I love my home country more than anything else. Draft. The national government kills. They kill their own people and our people to distract us all from the truth. They have fabricated yet another story about me to distract you from the really important truths. If you don't believe me, here's another truth for you. I used to be a teacher in Prava, a beautiful small town by the mountains of Ria. My school was destroyed by the troops of the nation. I have never gotten over this horrible incident, and it broke my heart more than anything else that has ever happened to me. The national government ordered the shelling of Prava Secondary. They killed those students, not me. They destroyed everything I loved in my hometown. This is what your government does to the innocent, to the weak. They kill. Okay. So basically now we're just fighting influencer versus influencer. He is blaming the nation for his own fault. Our own army attacking at school. We're the peacekeepers. It's high time to turn things around. This has to end now. We cannot let these preposterous lies stand. We will destroy Raban Vart. You will, now. Get me something that shows beyond any doubt that the nation isn't the one to blame here. Your loyalty to me is beyond any limits. You have been with me from the start. The People's Voice would not nearly have become what it is had you not been there. You're more than a fan, you're a true friend. Okay. I don't really have a whole lot else to put in. David Johns again. You had mentioned him before. Regardless, it doesn't matter what role he had with the People's Voice. What matters is only the destruction of Raban. You are like... You've got blinders on, lady. Unsung here that you need to know about. You You straight up lying to make me feel better will not change this. I am not a hero. Really? Really? He still saved kids. And I don't have a choice, do I? Because he said it on the internet, and the internet never lies. He doesn't want to be seen as a hero. But despite this, he has profited a great deal from being considered a hero. Raban Vart is a sad joke, bereft of moral standards, and he is going down. The lady is like a dog with a bone. And I don't have a choice. There's nothing else I can put in right now. I don't think. Drop this down. Anything in any of this that I missed? Nope. Nope. Can't do anything else but this. You straight up lying to make me feel better will not change this. And since you helped me get out of the Pargesian army, I wanted to do something for you too. Okay. Wait, what exactly did Ilya lie about regarding his brother? Not your friend. Raban, it's a lie. It's all a lie. I'm not your friend. I've never been. I can't fully explain it at this time. I've only been here recently. I've just been informed that you're about to claim the nation bombed your school. You have no idea how right you are. I realized this may be my last chance of getting out of this mess. So I got my hands on some internal documents for you. What really happened at Prava Secondary, it's all in there. I will try to get you more. Keep an eye on New Percoleaks documents. For now, I must keep my head down. They will now come for me. Hit them as hard as you can. Operation Cavalry. This document describes an incident in which the National Army bombarded a Pargesian school. Army of the Nation had been well aware of the fact that many students and teachers were in the building at this time. The school had been used as a bomb shelter for many weeks. On December 6, 2010, national troops started shelling the school, leaving it completely destroyed. Afterwards, the ruins were searched by military with the help of civilians looking for their children. Soldiers Oleg Bakay and Alexander Petkovic were the only survivors on the side of the Pargesian army and were secured from the shelter. There was only one known civilian survivor whom the Pargesian soldiers had managed to save, but was still seriously injured. The school's principal, Raban Vart, had been found wounded and retrieved from the ruins. When encountered by civilians, Raban Vart was met with the extreme aversion and had to be protected from them by the army. The report reveals that the order to open fire had been given by the supreme command within the government of the nation, who had stated that the school was occupied by terrorist group forces of True Parjas. This turned out to be untrue, since there were only civilians and Pargesian army soldiers on site. This shelling was a serious violation of international law and human rights by the army of the nation. Okay. I kind of want to let that get out. Had to be protected from an angry mob after the school incident. Was the only civilian retrieved from the school's shelter. Was arrested by the army of the nation after the school incident. Listener, that's where I need to be. Has been pointed to confidential information. How does this person leak confidential information to Raban Vart? As Very troubling news. Not aware of any one of our own people with this name, though. I'll turn this David Johns into a target person you may want to investigate if you so desire. Remember, though, that Rabban Vart remains the primary target. Get us something to obliterate him with. David Johns, sure. Let me look into him first. Better watch out. We are fighting the fake news. Thank God the government has finally increased the surveillance cams. Feel much safer now. Do you actually believe your own bullshit that you post every day? Cheers to the soldiers of the nation who live life every day for day. So, I could tell you about my new job, but then I'd have to make you disappear. Ha ha ha. Never really understood the appeal of the band that targets. Okay. So he's sending stuff to Rabban, but he doesn't seem to really agree. Somehow I get the feeling this might not be our guy. Kind of an all call sign, isn't it? It's not one of our agents, is it? Tell you about my new job, and then I have to make you disappear. Sure. It's gonna say that he threatens to make other people disappear, even though that's a joke, but he did post about having a classified job. So I'm not... We're gonna wait on that one. Where is the search database? Search this and then search this. X2 think. Johns, date of birth redacted, redacted. Assignment, influencer persona. And he has a PC. Oh, you've got to be kidding me, right? Except of course you're not. It is one of our own people then. Unfortunately, as an influencer persona, I'm afraid David Johns isn't simply one person. Those personas are controlled by different real persons in our services. Even I cannot tell you who is controlling them at this time. You must help find the traitor behind David Johns. Get me their real name. Okay. Good thinking. Now get me their identity so I can find them and make sure they don't undermine our work any longer. Here comes his article. We must end this. Get me a narrative. All the way back up. National government kills civilians. Manipulate your thoughts, they murder people. To be clear, yes, it is true that I invited soldiers of the Pargesian army to my school in Prava, but this fact was taken entirely out of context in order to fabricate a new story aiming to destroy me. The only reason I hired the Pargesian army was to protect Prava Secondary. If you don't believe me that the national government are preposterous liars, here's another truth for you. My school was not bombed by troops of the Pargesian army at all. The national government ordered the shelling of Prava Secondary and blamed Pargesian soldiers because they wanted to prove to the media that they were needed in Parges to protect the Pargesian people. Instead, they destroyed everything I loved in my hometown. This is what your government does to the innocent, to the weak. This is why I shall, from now on, call them national murderers. nothing there anymore. Okay, let's search on this guy, because I don't want to put any of that information out about the secret, because any of that goes against him. I would like to turn this around on her. Dad, save protocol dad. Okay, Iris, what's up? How are you, Dad? Is everything fine? Sure. Billy has been annoying recently. Dog manages to drive me insane. Just can't help but not be mad at him. Look, Dad, you wanted to promise me that you'll always be very careful. Look after yourself and Billy. No, we'd love for you to come and visit us again soon. I'm sorry, Dad, I won't be able to do that. I'm super swamped with work. Iris Young. But this is in conflict with something else, so we're gonna hold off on that, because this was the only thing in there. Browser history. Looking up. You're looking up all the stuff from the previous game. Off about my new job. I could tell you, but you will need to make this encryption. Okay, I'm gonna have to find what that encryption was. Disappear. Investigator, we know you have been blabbering about your new job controlling David Johns and the others, despite us telling you explicitly not to do so. If you believe us to be joking, be advised we are not. In fact, we can easily make you disappear, as you put it, or other people. Meanwhile, we are keeping a protective eye on you, on your father. You may thank us later. Time to start taking this job opportunity we gave you very seriously. Don't mess up. Oh, isn't that helpful? Okay. What can I put on here? Let's go ahead and put this. Doesn't really help. Keep hands off about my new job. Voice. Need to make this encryption disappear. There we go. If you can read this, it must mean the office has come for me and you're my doom. The worst decision I could possibly make was to sign up for Orwell and then post about it. I would have to make you disappear. Haha. It's so ironic. I'd have to laugh out loudly if it were so bitter. 2 days later, I get a particular mail you may have seen. Sorry about the hassle with the password there. I needed to be sure you'd see what I have been doing for them, so you'd at least possibly believe me. I've been spreading hate in their name, in the name of the nation, on the one, and Parjas on the other. I feed their rage, and I can't get out. I don't know what she'll do to my dad if I just quit. I can't continue like this either. I don't want to. That Highness Binch Appleford. I agree with you. She is a bitch. She is a queen of lies. She might have told you she doesn't know who I am. Bah, don't believe a word she says. She knows everything already. Why she needs you then, Agent? Didn't you figure it out already? She needs only for verification only. Everything in Orwell is mandatory to be acted upon. Everything. She isn't interested in finding out the truth at all. All she is interested in is to have her own fucked up version of the truth in Orwell, so she is allowed to do whatever she desires. What's in Orwell becomes the truth. But this can be used against her. Ha, it's nearly too simple. All you need to do is to lie for me. My name is Melissa Bethany O'Brien. My call sign is Ampleford. I can completely turn all of this around on her. What do you think, Crystal? Should I do it? Should I give the bitch her comeuppance? Hell yeah, I agree. What's she gonna say to that? No, that is my name. Mine, you imbecile! Oh, I get it. Cooperating with Iris Young then, aren't you? Quite bold of you to trust a professional liar. This duplicitous bitch. We shouldn't have entrusted her with David Johns and the others. First she blabbers about her job, and now this. But I'm afraid you have seen enough, Agent. This is where your little adventure off track ends. If you expect me to become magically arrested now because you shifted the blame to me, no, this isn't the way things go with the office. Now back to where we were. Would you kindly take care of Urban Vart? Am I missing something here? What did I not put in here? Okay, I just had to re-click everything apparently. What can I do about this Operation Cavalry? How can I make this look good? Let's see. Oleg was arrested by the Army of the Nation. That is how he ended up with us, yes. Urban Vart is the only survivor. Urban Vart, the only civilian. I don't see any hint to his students there. I thought he had rescued a lot of his students. Which explains the lies. Had to be protected from an angry mob after the school incident. The power of the people. What did he do to deserve that? What happened there? My child died in the school bombing. I want justice. My child died in the school bombing on Monday. I can barely type this message as my hands shake as I try to comprehend that my little girl is gone. I haven't slept and my stomach is retching as I try to process my grief. I just want to find the ones responsible for the attack, look them in the eye and make them know just a fraction of the pain I'm feeling now. I need to know what happened. I also need to know why it happened. Also, how is it that Urban Vart was the only survivor? Can someone please explain that to me? Because right now I'm having a real hard time working that one out. Ilya, dear Mr. Buzik, I understand your feelings and your outrage. I cannot emphasize enough how sorry I am for your loss. I am answering on account of my brother who is still hospitalized and in shock about what has happened. Please take into account that he tried everything in his power to protect all pupils of Prava Secondary. Nonetheless, he can't help but blame himself for what has happened, and feels the utmost sympathy for each and every one who lost a child or other family member in the bombings. But it was not his fault that the FTP attacked the school. Are you kidding me? Mr. Vart was the one who attracted the attention of the FTP by hiring soldiers of the Pargesian army to defend Prava Secondary. This is why the FTP started the shelling. He rightly blames himself for what has happened because he's the one to fucking blame. Cannot believe the gall to come here and defend him. My daughter is also gone. Did all that he could. How could not one single child survive? Huh? How dare you claim that your brother is not responsible for this? While I did not lose any family members in the bombing, I have to agree with the people here. You have no right to come in here and defend Raban when he, as principal and therefore head of the school, called the armed forces to our school. Have you no shame? To give you an idea of what he has done, here is a list they published of people who died that day, a majority of whom were pupils aged 11 to 15. And there's Oleg's daughter. Dear citizens of Prava, I understand your concerns and I wish to express my sincere condolences. It is a natural reaction to this truly horrific situation to seek answers for what has happened. But if you really want to hold somebody accountable, it should be the FTP who conducted these bombings. Blame our government for not protecting us. Blame soldiers of the nation for failing just as much. But please do not blame one of us. Do not blame the principal who has done everything he can to help these children, to support parents, to save people. As citizens of Prava, we should stick together in difficult times instead of throwing stones at each other. Please don't make this terrible war get the best of you. First, please let me tell you that I am terribly heartbroken that all my pupils died in the bombing of Prava Secondary. I decided to speak here, not because I am trying to defend myself. Instead, I discovered a very important fact that the citizens of Prava need to know about, something that is highly crucial to seeing the bigger picture of this whole goddamn war. The bomb that hit Prava Secondary was a GPB N300. I know these bombs, and they are not the kind of weapons that the FTP usually deals with. These bombs are owned primarily by the Pargesian army. This was not the FTP. This attack was executed by the army and therefore the government itself. Are you for real, Vart? You come in here with what is barely a half-assed apology and then start spewing conspiracy theories. Our children died. You didn't protect them when they needed someone. That was your job. Now my job is to make sure you don't step foot in our beautiful town again. I will make sure that everyone knows the kind of man you are, Vart, an insensitive, cowardly child murderer. I didn't murder your children, the government did. It makes a lot of sense. Doesn't anyone here even care about the facts? What are you still doing here? To hell with your so-called facts. I agree with Mrs. Toscola. You are a child murderer who deserves to be shot. We want you out, Principal Vart. My brother has done nothing wrong. He's dedicated his life to this school, to his pupils, and this is how you thank him? He did everything he could to try to save them. Ilya, the fact that you are defending your brother's abhorrent actions only makes you an accomplice in our eyes. You should both leave the country and never come back. We just might thank you for nothing, citizens of Prava. Okay. He didn't save his students. They died in the incident. Fuck, I don't want to work with this bitch for this shit. I cannot believe it. This man, this fraud, to claim he saved the students despite, we should have known. We should have known a long time ago. This is what Ilya must have lied about for him. All these lies make me sick. How about the lies you're spreading, bitch? But there is a silver lining. This is all we need. No need to construct a narrative. This itself will be his undoing. Bring him down. Bring him down. There's something happening on Karen's PC. It could be important. You may want to investigate before you spread the narrative. I want to bring her down. Yes. Nothing here. Nothing here. Another patient report. On Nina Maternova. Nina was the one who placed the bombs and was led to believe that it happened because of Abraham's. I was aware that something was up with Mrs. Maternova and she'd... Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear that. Was aware that she was behaving abnormally but did not report on it. interesting. Interesting indeed. One could say that Karen protected the Bonton bombing's perpetrator. Yeah, well, I'm beginning to think that that one fish is a myth, but I also haven't played much lately. I don't like you, bitch! As soon as these connections become evident, Raban's reputation may greatly suffer. This could put the people's voice to an end. It's a risk, maybe one worth pursuing. Your call. I know the fish isn't bugged, though, because you caught it, and so did Shaggy, so... Okay. I have nothing else I can put in here. There's nothing else for me to search. Okay. I have to put an influencer thing up, Crystal. Should I talk about how he only saved himself and let all of his students die and built a false myth to profit from it? Or should I put in that his wife counseled the Bonton bombing's perpetrator and covered for her? The top one? Leave his wife alone? We don't want to connect this to the first game? But this is the truth, at least. This is true. I did already put out that he sold the buildings. And this is not necessarily the truth, but this is at least the truth that his students died. Ilya lied. He didn't, but he also didn't correct it. No, it's fine. I'm more focused on this game, honestly. And like I said, this is at least mostly the truth, and Ilya told a lie, but he didn't correct that lie. Oh my god. Take a look at Blabber, you need to see this. Hey Jester, thank you so much for the raid. I appreciate that. How are you? Give me just a second. The sound is going to cut out, but I need to pop over so I can give you a shout out. So Jester is an awesome, awesome person, plays DBD and a variety of other games as well, and he's just super fun and chill, and I highly suggest you go and check him out. I know when he was playing the other day, he was playing Papers, Please. What were you playing today, Jester? Alright, what are the reactions to this? This ignorant, miserable bunch. There are still far too many people standing by the people's voice. That's because you're a bitch. DBD tonight? How were your matches? We have failed. This is it. We failed, plain and simple. Our efforts are for naught. The riots before the presidential palace rage on unchecked. All we can do is hope for... Raban Vart started an announcement. I fear for the worst. This is the end, Agent. That's fine. I don't want you to win. Wild and chaotic? Well, isn't that the best kind of a match, though? Let's see. I knew it was from the start. It wasn't obvious from the beginning that he was no Pargesian hero. Never really took the truth that seriously anyway, did you, Raban? So many shenanigans. The truth. What do you claim to know about the truth? Are you a blabberbot? Are you a real person? Are you a liar? Am I a liar? I was always wondering whether you folks will ever learn that truth is not black and white. What exactly is this game? Never seen it. So this game is actually the second Orwell game. And Orwell basically is a system in both games where you have target people created. Each person here with a picture, they're your targets, and you can look up information on the internet. You can get into their phone calls, their emails, their chat handles like Facebook. You can get into their computers, and you find out information about them, and you put all of the information you find onto Orwell. And whatever goes onto Orwell, the advisor, which is the lady in blue that you see talking to me, and she's a bitch, by the way, because she wants to twist everything to basically take power and bring somebody down because she doesn't like what he's doing. But whatever you put into the profiles, the game reacts on. And since I did complete the first game, things that are going on in the first game are still happening in this game because it looked up the files, and so everything that I did in my game is now coming through on this side, which is really cool, and it's connected a few of the characters together, so it is happening at the same time concurrently as the first game. But it's a very interesting game, very kind of puzzly. You have to kind of sort through and what do you want to figure out, and like some things will, like if somebody makes a threat but it's a joke, the system will tag it as, hey, this person is making a threat, and you as the human element get to basically say, okay, do I put this into their profile and make them look more violent than they are, or do I leave it out because it's clearly a joke? So you can kind of tailor things to what you want them to be. And in this game, there's an added thing called the influencer here, where you basically get to put information that you've discovered and twist it into a story, and then you pick whatever, she twists them together into a story, and then you pick which one you're going to send out onto social media to try to undermine his all of his followers. Because this guy here is running a blog called The People's Voice Against the Government. So it's really interesting, but at the same time, it's a little creepy just on the aspect that everything that I'm doing, we currently in real world have the technology to do this, and all of the social media influencing that's going on here is how you see social media today. So in a sense, it's a little unnerving just because of that, and going through and doing this, but it's a super interesting game. I'm having a lot of fun with it. But right now, we were looking at sort of the responses to the last thing, where he was the only survivor in a bombing after inviting soldiers to the school in an attempt to protect the school that he was the principal of a long while back. So, and I don't know how much the first game is right now. I got it a few weeks back for free on Epic, but the sequel here, it was on sale a few days ago, maybe a week ago, for like $2.99 on Steam. So definitely recommend getting both games and trying them if you can. Don't you guys get it? Urban has been fighting these rumors about him all day. This is a giant shitstorm incited by the goddamn national government. They are trying to get rid of him and TPV. Let's show them that they will not succeed. People, I have been reading your blog ever since day one when you wrote about your arduous journey to the nation. You were my heroes. I am deeply disappointed in who you turned out to be. Why did I ever trust you, Raban Vart? I am deeply sorry that you feel that way. I beg you to keep in mind that false information is being spread about me all over the internet and that they are trying to bring us down. Please do not let them succeed. Alright. What is he streaming right now? This is my last announcement. Thank you to those of my readers who stuck with me. Play the podcast.
My dear followers, those of you who still remain, the story that has finally been spread by the despicable government mouthpiece. It is true. All of it. I never saved those children. Because I was too afraid. Because I ran for my life, eager of saving it before theirs. Here I now am, alive, and they aren't. I had so long forgotten about it, and now it's shaking me to my core. I believed that if I only tried hard enough, I could change things. That I could make things better for my people at home in Parges. I believed I could fight against the corrupt, evil, rotten politicians longing for power at the people's expense. I believed I could free my home country from these parasites and go back home. If only I twisted words long enough. We all need a reliable base on which our world is based. Our truth. This was mine. But now I realize that I've been living a lie. Not only a lie that made you believe in me, but a lie that allowed me to forget who I actually was. A far too comfortable lie. Only one thing is worse. Knowing that even as I speak, you all continue. Carry on, fight on with all your fury, perpetuating that very lie endlessly, creating new truths based on fake claims put out there ages ago. What will become of this world when everybody has their own truth? What will be real, dependable? Everything will be nothing. Truth is dead. And I killed it that very day I was too afraid to speak up and correct a mistake. But no longer. This story has to end on my terms. There's hardly anything more concrete than a bullet. It creates a tangible, uncomfortable fact. The very thing needed for a resurrection of truth.
Oh, shit. Well, I did not expect that, and I apologize for any triggers with that. And okay, Crystal, you have a great night. Yeah. I don't like that ending. I don't like that ending at all. I would have much rather have gotten the advisor bitch to be arrested or something. In the first game, I was able to get the Secretary of Security to step down from her position, but didn't exactly get a chance to do much with this one. Okay, well, I do believe if I wanted to, I could replay this and try to get another ending. But if I were going to do that, I feel like I would have to pin most things on his brother and his wife to keep him alive. I don't know. We might come back to this at some point to see if we can get a different ending for it. But at this point, we have completed Orwell, the second one, and I think we're going to call it there. It's a very sad ending, and I'm not happy with that ending, but I would also be on here for probably another hour or so, and I do have work in the morning, unfortunately. So, we're going to call it there. And let's see here. We're going to go ahead and raid out to someone else. Who should we raid out to? We're going to go raid somebody named Aviton. And she is currently playing an Assassin's Creed game. I'm not sure which one. Let's see here. Assassin's Creed Syndicate. So we're going to go say hi to her, and thank you all for hanging out with me tonight. I very much appreciate it, and hope you stick around with me for the raid. And again, if you liked what you saw, go ahead and hit the follow button. Follows are free. And as one of my favorite streamers likes to say, follows are free, and you might find your next big Twitch streamer. So thanks again for hanging out, guys. Have a great night.